Hello everyone and welcome. In this video I'm making a simple birthday card with a lotus flower. I really wanted to paint a lotus flower and I also wanted to use a black cardstock. I would have used watercolors, but I don't have watercolors that show on black cardstock like metallic watercolors. I used acrylic paints. Here are the supplies. I'm using cheap acrylic paints, nothing special. The colors I'm using are pink and green, and I will be lighting them up with white paint. Then I have a few brushes, and the greeting I will be stamping and heat embossing it in white. If you do not have stamps for the greeting, just use a white gel pen. I started by mixing the pink and white, and I'm using a laminated cardstock as my palette. I didn't mix the paints completely. This is because I wanted to paint the petals in different shades, and I squeezed out too much of the paint, so I was gradually adding more of the pink. I started with the middle petal, which was the lightest, and then I painted the petals on each side. One thing I need to mention, I do not have any experience with acrylic paints, so I don't know what I'm really doing or if I'm applying the paints correctly, plus I'm using cheap paints. However, I wanted to paint a lotus flower on a black cardstock. I just gave it a try and I do like the result. It also helps to have a sketch or a photo. I actually did both. I found a photo and then I drew it in my sketchbook. This is just to get an idea of how to make the shape of the petals and the size of the whole flower. And I had a sketch on the side as a reference. After I was finished with the petals, I mixed together green and white. And I painted the stem, just a simple line, a little bit wobbly, but it was okay. After everything was dry, I worked on the greeting. I used a stamp for that, but as I said, you could use a white gel pen and write the greeting yourself. I picked this All the Sentiment stamp set from Clearly Besotted. I think it fits very well, and I was going to heat emboss it. So first, over the area where I was stamping, I used an anti-static powder. It helps to prevent the embossing powder from sticking where it's not supposed to. Then I stamped the greeting using the Versamark ink, which is a sticky ink. I sprinkled the embossing powder over it, and I melted the powder using my heat tool. As you can see, the anti-static powder was still visible on the black cardstock. To remove it, I tried using a paper towel, which didn't work, so I used a baby wipe and then the paper towel again, and this removed the anti-static powder. Lastly, I adhered the panel on top of a card base using a simple double-sided tape. And the card is finished! I hope you enjoyed this video and will try painting it yourself. You do not have to use acrylic paints, you can paint it with watercolors on a white watercolor cardstock. I think that would look great as well. If you are interested in the products I used, they are all listed over on my blog. The link is in the description below. And if you would like to have more painting ideas with acrylic paints, just check out the 2 videos on your screen. So that is all for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you soon.